friends, I'm Robin Fiked at Stamping Country. Welcome to my stamping studio. Don't you just love this little slider card? I'm going to show you how to make these slider cards from a fun new set from the new Stampin Up 2020 August through December catalog. If you're a Stampin' Country customer, you've already received it. And it starts August 4th. We're going to use a stamp set called Freezin Fun from page 69 of this catalog and its coordinating dies, which are called Freezin Friends, to make this cute little slider card. Let me show you how we get started on this. First of all, you're going to need, for your card base, I'm using the Balmy Blue, mainly because it matches the designer paper. I cut it 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need, you'll need some Whisper White. I use the thicker because I like nice sturdy characters for this. That's just to stamp on. And then you're going to need a piece of thick Whisper White that is 2 3/4 by 5.5. I use the thicker Whisper White because I want it sturdy for the slider. So again, that's 2 3/4 by 5.5. And then you have another little piece that's 1.5 by 5.5. That's going to go behind our opening for our slider. And then I cut a piece of designer paper that's 2 1/4 by 5.5. Aren't the colors pretty? The designer paper is the new Snowflake Splendor designer paper. And it was just perfect for the little snowy scene. And it made it so that I didn't have to color the background. How's that? Now I used this die from the Freezin Friends die set, and I cut off the top of that bigger piece, the 2 3/4 by 5.5. Now I'm going to use my classic label die to cut the ditch for our slider. Make sure you come down far enough that you have room to put your adhesive strip later. And we're just lining that up the best we can. I want to make it a little longer than the actual punch is. And you can keep doing that and make it as long or short as you want. You can curve it a little bit if you want. Make sure you leave some room at the ends. Now it looks like I got just a little bit jagged. Don't worry about that. Just take your snips and just even that out. It's really not a big deal. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Okay. So that is going to be our ditch for our slider. And then you can see how that extra little piece is going to go behind and just sort of clean up your card. Let's go ahead and stamp some images with our Freezin Fun stamp set. I'm using Old Olive ink to stamp some little trees. Make sure you come down a little bit from the ditch so that the seal isn't going over the top of the trees. I guess it doesn't really matter. One of my cards it was. And then the Balmy Blue, which matches our designer paper, the Snowflake Splendor designer paper. And I'm going to make a pile of snowballs. And let's add just a little bit of snowflakes. These can be random. And then we're going to stamp our little penguin and our seal. So take your scrap of Whisper White cardstock and we'll start stamping these images. I'm going to start with my Balmy Blue and we'll stamp some snowflakes. These are going to be the little individual ones. And we'll also stamp the little ice. That's also in Balmy Blue. Then I'm going to use gray granite ink and I'm going to stamp my little seal. Cute, cute, cute. Isn't he adorable? Okay, and then we're going to do the little penguin dude. I think I should use black for him, so we'll use this tuxedo black. Technically, you could have done the seal in black too if you don't have both colors. That would work. And then I'm the little wee. I'm going to use the Highland Heather ink. Again, it matches the paper. Okay, this is confession time. I put the label on backwards. So I have a little arrow on my stamp to tell me to turn it the other way. Yeah, it was easier than trying to peel it off. Okay, so I'm going to use my Highland Heather Stampin' Blends. I'm starting with my darker and then blending in with the lighter for his scarf and this little hat topper. This is the Misty Moonlight. It's a new in color for 2020 to 2022. And then I'm going to use the lighter of the basic black Stampin' Blends. You could use the dark, I guess, but I think this looks fine. This is what is this? Mango Melody for his little beak and feet. And then this is Poppy Parade. I used the lighter, but you could use the darker for some of the stripes in his nose. And then the Balmy Blue, which will match our paper for some more of his hat. And then I'm going to use the gray granite to color him. That's why I stamped him with the gray granite, but you could have stamped him with black and he would still look pretty good. This just softens him a little. And then for my trees, I'm using the Old Olive Stampin' Blend. Pretty, pretty. So fun. Okay, and then you pull out your dies. They have dies to match all the little characters. So this is the little penguin. Make sure you put the rough side down and run this through your cutting machine. And then the little seal. And the little ice chunk, I guess. And our little snowballs. This little die will cut them out individually. So you'll have 3 little snowballs. And then there was another one that was to cut out, I think, an ice stamp, but I'm going to use it for my little wee to cut that out. So we'll run that through our die cutting machine. And now this is sort of some of the leftover edges from the little mini Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to trim them up just a little bit because I want a longer strip. Let's attach with a glue dot our little seal to the little iceberg. Just make it a little stronger. Now, about that strip. Rather than putting little round shapes, I wanted something a little longer so that it will go in the ditch and slide without spinning around. If you use something round, it's going to spin around and upside down and all sorts of things. And I just wanted him to slide down the ditch. This way he won't wobble. That length will keep him from wobbling so much. Now you're going to need either a penny or a washer, something to give you a little bit of weight. Place him on the, turn it over and place him there, and your penny goes on the back. Cute. Yeah, that weight will help him slide. We're almost done. Then we're going to use some foam adhesive strips. The foam adhesive strips are just a little bit thicker than the dimensionals, so it gives it a little bit of added height. It helps the slider slide. So it seems to work pretty well. Make sure you're far enough away from the penny that it will slide. It doesn't get hung up. Ooh, that might be just a little bit close. We'll go down each side, and just so to firm it up, we're going to put some more adhesive strip along the bottom. We'll peel off the backing. And then you remember that little piece that we had, the 1.5 by 5.5? We're going to just place that behind our ditch. It just cleans your card up, makes it look nicer. Ta-da, ta-da. Oops. Got a little bit sticking out. Don't worry about that. You can just easily snip that off with your snippers. Yes, look how he slides. Isn't he so cute? Love it. Put a little adhesive on the back of that extra little strip. And this is our balmy blue card base. And then we'll put our designer paper, our Snowflake Splendor designer paper, along the top. That was cut 2.25 by 5.5. And then we'll put our little slider piece along the bottom. Oh, wow. I just love this together. Then it just needed a little something else, so we're going to add our little penguin dude. He just looks like he's cheering the little seal on. Again, I'm going to use some dimensionals to give him a little pop and because he's hopping. Place him on there. We'll do the same with our little wee sentiment. I'm going to use the mini dimensionals for this. Now put it so it looks like the penguin's holding it. So stinking cute. Love it. We'll add our little snowballs. We're going to put one in his mitt so it looks like he's throwing it. And the other two we'll just have lying about on the ground. It looks like a great day of winter play. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I do have one more little thing. These are so fun. These are called, what are they called? They're called Snowflake. They're adhesive back snowflakes. And you can see they have just a little shimmer and shine. They're real easy to put on because they have the adhesive on the back. And it does add a lot. Make sure that you don't put them up so that they catch the little seal. Otherwise, he may not slide as well. Be sure to stop back soon. Have a fabulous day.